let's imagine you come to England, you have an embarrassing problem.
Let's make it fictional. Not you. It's someone completely...
It's a friend I know. A friend of a friend. Okay, so things that might go wrong and that are kind of embarrassing to talk about. So what happens if I ate some food and the food didn't agree with me? How would I describe what's happening?
As you described it there would be perfectly acceptable.
Right.
You know, using just basic English to explain that. We would be totally comfortable with that. But also, you don't need to sort of shy away from what you say. You could say that I'm having very watery poo, very loose stools. You're the one laughing here.
I'm an actual 5-year-old.
But the term we use would be diarrhea. That would be a episode of diarrhea. So going lots of times or looser than you'd normally have.
So if I want to explain that, I would say I've got diarrhea.
Yeah, absolutely. And people get diarrhea when they travel all the time. It's generally
Right.
not an infective cause. It's often because you've had something that's unusual to that area. So your gut's just trying to get rid of it. It's not necessarily a significant medical condition.
Yeah.
So, and the drinking water in the UK is perfectly safe to drink. You don't need to drink all these bottles, buy all these bottles everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the tap water's perfectly fine.
Exactly. So the medical term for poo is stool, but I don't think we don't really need to talk about that because often I say that to English people and they're like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
So we use the term stool, loose stool, hard stool.
Okay.
But if you are having trouble, then you can go to your pharmacist. It's nothing you need to see a doctor about per se,
Right.
but you might need to go to the pharmacist if it's going on a long time. But if you're struggling to keep anything down in terms of fluids, you're producing more out than you can drink in, then that's when it can be a problem, right? And that's when you need to get medical help.
In the same family of things coming out of your mouth, we'd say to vomit. Or a phrasal verb that you might enjoy is throw up. So you could say, last night I was throwing up all night.
Really?
I mean, not me.
No,
Not
the friend.
me. The friend I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. But any conditions like this where you feel unwell, you basically just treat it as you would in your own country, really. Do you see what I mean? So if you're
Right.
concerned about a condition, the vomiting and the diarrhea, it's much worse than you've ever had before.
Right.
Then, as you said, we can always call 111 to get help, get medical help.
Okay, embarrassing doesn't just have to be diarrhea and vomit. It could also be something sexually related. So let's look at some sexual terms that you might need. I mean, if you have like a really fun holiday, you might need this. This is a scratch, and the feeling when you need to scratch is an itch. The adjective, itchy. My hand, for example, is itchy. What if you have a really good night with someone, a few days later, you have an itchy penis or an itchy vagina? What would I do?
You probably want to go see a GP, the family doctor, and be examined for it. Yeah, there's very few things that are kind of medical emergencies down there, but I admit it's very embarrassing, can be very uncomfortable as well.
Especially if you don't speak the language.
Absolutely. We've seen it all before, and our priority is sorting you out, not trying to make you embarrassed about what's happened.
Ways to describe what might be happening, or maybe your doctor might tell you what's happening. What could we have going on there? We could have a rash. What's a rash?
So a rash would be a change in your skin. Okay, so it could be itchy, like described earlier. It could be red and raised.
So when we think red, itchy, rash.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. Spots.
Okay, so spots can be part of a rash, but it would be an individual kind of raised, possibly itchy area as well. Kind of you'd get after maybe an insect bite or something like that would be a spot.
When you're a teenager, you find them on your face, but you can get them anywhere, right?
Exactly. So you may have also heard of the medical term inflamed.
Right.
And that's kind of brought into general English as well, right?
Right.
If something is inflamed, it means it's kind of aggressive. So when your body has an injury, we want more blood flow to the area to help promote healing. And that's what inflammation is. So the area becomes very hot, red, and swollen as well.
That word swollen. Okay, dude, thank you. That was really, really fun. So I love his videos because he explains everything medicine in movies and TV and in general in such an easy to understand way. So if you have any interest in medicine or just TV and movies in general, check out his videos. Especially now you have that Marvel series.
Thanks, man.
Friggin' love that. So you can click around. You can click here and find that somewhere around here.
So I can see it there, yeah.
You can see it there, right?
Yeah.
That video is great, but what do you think of that video?
Iffy.
Yeah.